Welcome back to the channel, fellow adventurers. If you're new here, we do EDC gear and knife review videos. If you like that kind of content, subscribe to the channel. And if you really like what you're watching, consider becoming a channel member. All right, folks. So today I'm doing something that I have not done on the channel yet. What we have in front of us is an Altoid tin survival kit. I put this together about a year ago, and we're going to open it up and see exactly what's in here, and then see if we can make any improvements. Because over the year, I've acquired different gear. I've changed my mind about maybe some things in there. Now, where this lives is in my car. Next to the left of my steering wheel, I have a little pull-down compartment that only has about that much space. So this fits in there perfect. And that's where it lives. So the first thing you notice, it's not a regular Altoids tin. This is a tin from Grim Workshop. I went with this one because it's a little deeper. And also too, because the cover comes off completely. And I'll show you why that's important. So first thing you're gonna see is I have these Ranger bands around it. They help to hold it shut, but also too, it adds another layer of water protection, water resistance. It doesn't make it waterproof, but it does help water from getting inside if you needed to. So we're going to open it up, and you can see it's got, it says kit survival number 10, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The reason why I like this, if you look, this is extremely shiny underneath, and because you can take it off, you can use this as a signal mirror right away. That's the first thing you're going to see. Second thing you're going to see in here, almost immediately, is you see a little button compass. We'll take that and put it here. Then you're going to grab a little Olight flashlight. I've got so many of these, but they work so great, and this is so small and compact, it fits right in there. And what I do is I leave the little protector in there, so that way the battery doesn't connect, so the battery won't die. Then we have in here if I can get it out, a true utility multi-tool. So this is kind of a decent little multi-tool. This is kind of a copy of a Leatherman skeletal, just a little bit smaller. It's not bad. The tools are a little iffy, but in a pinch it'll work. It's got a decent blade on it, liner lock on that. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it's not a liner lock, it's just a slip joint. But it'll do what you need it to do. Little saw. I mean, it's got your standard, little pocket multi-tool tools. It does lack a scissor, which kind of stinks, but it's not bad for what it is, and it's small. It fits in the kit, and that's what's important. Then in here, we also have a knife. This is a non-branded knife. It is a flipper tab that actually works really well with a liner lock, solid lockup on this, and I attached some paracord to it. Paracord could be used for a lot of things. When you pull this out, it's probably about, 12 inches or so of paracord. Not enough to really do a lot, but if you needed to use for fire starting material, it just has a lot of uses. And even though this is a no-name knife, with the solid lockup and being small, it fits in there, it'll do the job in a pinch. Now we have some UCO waterproof matches. Those are always really good to have. As a backup fire source, we have a ferrocerium rod that actually works. I've tested it. We'll put it there. In fact, let's show you how it works. Now, what's bad is this knife has a little bit of trouble because the angle, but it's too sharp there. But if you use it here, as you can see, it works. So that always good to have a backup. The old saying, one is none and two is one. Well, there you go. In here I have paper clips. Paper clips come in handy for a lot of different uses. I mean, you can fold them out. You can use them to twist around things, tie things. They just work really well. There's a lot of uses for them. Now in here we have another multi-tool, so to speak. This is a Swiss Tech multi-tool pry bar. With a ruler on it. I mean, it just comes in handy for a lot of little things. You know, worth definitely having. I haven't, since I wear glasses, I have a lens wipe in here, Zeiss lens wipe. But this can also be used for cleaning a wound, cleaning stuff up, because it's just an alcohol pad. Then I have Q-tips. Q-tips could be pulled to use as fire starting material, cleaning a wound out or whatever. They've got uses. Then in here we have a little bit of little package of ibuprofen. We have the striker for the matches. Now, if you notice, that was separated from the matches. It was under other layers of stuff because you don't want it accidentally moving in there and catching the matches and starting a fire in your tin. Then we have Band-Aids. We've got a waterproof Band-Aid, and we've got 2 regular Band-Aids. They always come in handy. Insect sting relief, and a little bit of burn cream. So a little bit of first aid in there. Now I want to talk about what I would change or what I should add to this. First thing I'm going to change out, I know it, is the True Utility tool. It's kind of limited and it's big and it's really heavy for its size. I'm going to replace that with a smaller Gerber dime. Gerber dime, I've had these in kits before. They're tried and true. They work well for what they are. Small size, you know, they've got all the tools you're going to need, you know, in a pinch. I really like the Gerber dime. I've had, for a long time, this was my everyday carry, was a Gerber dime before I switched to the SOG PowerPoint. So let's start putting stuff back in here. Okay. All right. Let's get that. First thing I'm going to do is put the matches strike all the way on the bottom. And then I'm going to cover it with Band-Aids, or I'm going to put the insect repellent, the burn cream, and the ibuprofen. And I'm going to put the lens wipe towards the bottom. Then I'm going to go with the Band-Aid and then these bandages. Kind of make a flat surface. Next I'm going to put the Gerber dime in, the pry tool, your paper clips, and then your matches. I will put the ferrocerium rod right here. Now you may be saying, why do you want to create the extra room? Well, like I said, we're going to add some stuff to this kit. First thing we're going to add in here is this package of fire starters. These are coated fire starters that will burn for 5 minutes. You shred them apart. They work wonderfully. So we're going to put that in there. So that created a little bit more room. The knife. I don't know if I really want to keep this knife in there. Although it works for its purpose, I was thinking maybe going even smaller with, say, a NAF's Lander, you know, a Lander 6, which is really small, but it'll do the job because remember, you do have the blade on the Gerber, and any knife I have in here is just secondary to the knife that's already in my pocket. And since I'm always with 3 knives in my pocket, this is all redundancy. Remember what I said before. 1 is none, 2 is 1, 3 is 2. Well, this is, again, redundancy. So I'm going to go with a smaller knife. Put that in the kit. Going to go with the button compass. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to add. Let me think about this for a second. I think, yes, let's grab some more things. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to put in here 3 sheets of paper from a Write in the Rain pad. And to go with that, I'm going to add a Write in the Rain pen. And that will fit perfectly right there. That will fit like that. And now it's going to make the Ranger bands even more vital here, because I'm going to have to push that down and it wants to push back up. But that's okay. That's okay, because we're going to put the Ranger band around it again. and lock that in place. Let's line that up a little better. Over the lip right there. Okay, bring that down. And we've got that lined up all the way around the lip. And then we will go with the other Ranger band around the top. And there we have it, our little ultimate Altoids tin survival kit. And again, this is going to live in my car. Hopefully I never have to use it, but if I do, it's there. All right, folks, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. Also, tell me what you think of the kit. Would you change that? What would you add? What would you do differently? I'd like to hear what you have to say about that. All right, folks, as I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp.